Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Mastafran art stream. It's a fine Saturday morning, June 15th, and I am awake much earlier than, I guess, my regular stream. Usually I have my streams in May, but here I have a nice hot cup of coffee. Probably should be an iced coffee, but I didn't have time to cold brew it. But it's something to get me awake for today. Welcome. I'm your, I guess, stream host, Mastafran, and welcome to the stream. It's a notable change from my Wednesday stream. I actually missed out on my Wednesday stream, but honestly, it was probably clear that I had not much planned that Wednesday stream. I'm doing my best to kind of just get myself reacclimated doing these regular after. But yeah, I've been doing pretty well. I've been experimenting with I've been just experimenting with doing some art. I've also been well, actually today I'm preparing for a art show later today. That's Art Walk. So pretty much just on the border of Wisconsin, and so that's basically where I'll be going today. Decided, okay, let's just knock out a stream today. Let's get that down. But yeah, I mean, that's been pretty alright. I've just been I've been nervous most of the week, and it might be the convention. It's more of a pre-art show jitters, where kind of just feeling a bit of nerves hitting me hard. Yesterday, I was spending time, I was going out to try to just go out, do something else with my. I went walking in my local mall in Brook Hill, and just went walking there. It's an outdoor mall, so it's pretty nice with that. Stopped at the library to, if I can, get a bit of like peaceful writing to kind of just get myself writing. I was digging through some archives that I wrote. Not really archives. The last few notes of the Black Mass story, and I was gathering them up to kind of just re-look at them, to reread. Okay, what have we been doing to the story? Kind of just playing the actual full. And I go to find that I have 15 different drafts and versions of the same fucking doc, and I'm like, but yeah, I clearly have lost. I think I've lost the big, like, actual scope. So that's kind of just been my task for, I'd say, the past week. Just getting those documents, looking through them, seeing what's salvageable, and dealing with getting over the nervousness of properly putting out the story. But of course, I discuss it with programming. But I'd say overall, I'm trying to work more towards concreting the real levels. Like, where's Cole actually going to be, and what are the actual safe mechanics? That's what I'm for the big, like, super treasures of the game. Make progress and stuff like that. The broad strokes is there. Like, all of it's the same. It's gonna be like one intro level, then you have 4 levels that you're able to go to. And then you'll be led to the 5th level by the main villain, and you'll continue on like the final levels and all that stuff. I have that broad strokes. We both agreed on that. The specifics is still in so much flux, and that's why the drafts are there. That I need to actually nail stuff down. Take it out of the ether of a bunch of miscellaneous different sketches that I draw in my sketchbook to actual world building. Well, not world building, but more just plot stuff. And yeah, yesterday I've been just spending time kind of just getting over initial just what ifs and the self-doubts of like, oh, what if you world build something and later down the line fucking hate your world, retcon everything. You can't really retcon. It means that I can't stick to my stuff. It's awful. But it's like you can't really just have everything set. And I guess a lot of things that contribute to those new drafts are, the more you read and the more you change different interests or different things that you want to do with your life or different things that catch your interest. Kind of just been, you grow up. And I'd say that's typical of most writing and creativity, stuff like that, is the more you absorb and the more you live life, the more different creative ideas you have. But of course, the drawback is you're never able to finish things because you end up like rewriting the same fucking thing over and over again, not really committing to the first draft. Workshop that draft, edit it, take it to someone else or someone. That's also another thing that I'm probably fine when it comes to the writing. It's just I'm so fucking cowardly when it comes to taking it to someone else. Actually, just say, "Hey, is this okay?" or "What's not working?" I don't really do that much because I'm nervous about being cringe. Of course. That's pretty typical of most new writers. And that sucks, I don't like that feeling of being a noob because it makes me feel helpless. Like I feel like I'm a burden because I'm useless at this one thing, And it's a giant contradiction because I'm moderately good at many different things, really. And I've gotten pretty decent at learning different software. Like I've recently been glancing at Game Boy Studio, not just messing about. And it has been I have been learning how to get assets into Game Boy Studio. And kind of just fiddling around seeing, could I actually put sprites in Game Boy Studio? And, that remains to be seen. Of course, Black Mass is still being made. So, that kind of thing, I'm not going to step on Adam's toes for that. Whenever I'm, just when my Game Boy Studio stuff catches my interest, I'll like dabble in. I'm stuck in something So I do that, and I'm learning different software. So can learn new stuff. So I'm able to be moderately okay at many things. The tough part is, how do you become exceptional? A single thing. And that's kind of the big rub. It's like, oh, I'm not automatically the best, therefore why try? I'm a psycho perfectionist. Like, I put all of my self-worth into being good at what I do, which is, obviously it's unhealthy, but I think this is my like ongoing, I guess, struggle even as a kid, where you're kind of like, all right, you just gotta be straight A's, you gotta be like that absolute perfect student, which is ironic because I got expelled from high school. Which is like, well, I got expelled from high school because that ain't. Then that's a whole bunch of like, I think that's also in that link of my emotions. I still don't have as control of emotions as I'd like to say. So, perfectionism plus, just volatile emotions that, there's still a bunch of growing up to do. Of course, I'm 32, and yet I still feel like I'm a stupid child who can't do shit. So that's kind of just one of those things where I give too much of a fuck about other people because I don't know who I am. So I never really felt like or even, my thoughts on the world make a difference to anything or anyone. Like, there have been a lot of times where I think, okay, if I vanished, not much would really change. Like, yeah, making a freaking animals with swords games was like, if I don't make it, someone else could totally make it. Like, it's not a complicated concept of a raccoon. Like, Rocket Raccoon exists. Plus, there's like, Redwall and like Usagi Yojimbo and Ninja Turtles. Like, animals with swords, not the most unique shit. Hell, like putting, a video game is not the like I'm making a pixel platform in cyber year 2024 when the things that are in vogue are like indie pixel or PlayStation 1 polygon games because Blender's bigger. So no, it's a lot of this is fighting self-doubt, and everybody has to go through it. I'm not the most different motherfucker, I know that. But taking that to heart is a whole different ballgame. So, if you're also an indie dev and you're feeling self-doubt about the game that you're making or the life that you're believing that, what if this doesn't go out? I'll say everybody feels that. And the only thing you can really do is your best, For a pixel artist, try to make the best pixel art you can. If you're a programmer, try to make the most efficient code around. A musician, try to make your best music that you can possibly do, and try your best. And when you make it, do your best to just tell everyone about it. That's basic marketing, say. Like, a lot of people think that you need like all the Twitter hype, or you need like 1 million views on Twitter or YouTube. You have to be on, it doesn't exist, but Summer Games Fest or all the other Games Fest. But the only thing you really need to do is just tell people that you make as many as possible. Tell your family, tell your friends. Whenever you're at a convention, just talk about it to as many people as you like. Even if you're walking a convention and meet up with artists or panelists and stuff like that, make a passing mention. If you're at a bar and people just asking you what you do, just say, I make an indie game on the side while I'm working a job. That's also another thing you gotta remember, is it's not 100% guarantee that you're going to like have a runaway success. Like, not everyone can be Stardew Valley, I guess what say no, Minecraft. Like not every indie game can't just hit $1 billion right off the bat. So, you do it like back in the Newgrounds days where you just make a bunch of small, funny little games and people get into it and you'll build up a reputation and an audience. And you're slowly building that grassroots effort to cultivate that growth. And not just cultivate that growth, but to kind of just cultivate the stability. It's better to have 100 consistently dedicated fans of your work than 1 million, one-time buyers who don't really stick around for the next game, Like, you're much better off having that consistent audience in general because, they're more than just consumers of your product. Or, they're basically like people who are now ride or die for you. They like your journey, they like your struggle, they like your story. And that kind of stuff does make a difference, especially when you're an artist and you're kind of just alone at your desk and you don't feel like anyone gives a shit. But then go to a convention or art event and you meet someone in real life who says, "Hey, I follow you online." That makes a giant difference. That's a great boost to your morale. Like, that kind of stuff can really kind of just get you going, keep you getting going. So that's the few bits of positivity that I try to keep track of. Whenever I'm just feeling like garbage, A lot of times I wake up in the morning and I do not bed. And sometimes I'm kind of like, what do I care if I leave bed? Like, even if I aspire to do it, it ain't gonna matter. Like, why should I do it when someone else can do it? Like, I'm not significantly that important. It's like I'm not like some fucking hyper genius artist who can make fucking miracles happen. I'm not like a freaking game designer who just knows how to get everyone's feelings right when they have that one good button press or something like that. Like I'm not that. I'm some jack off lives in a room. So that's most people, I'd say. Like, most people are probably just in their apartments or they're in their house or living with their parents or living in basements. And they're kind of just plucking away at stuff. Many people have kids, and that's probably important. So they're important to their sons or daughters, or, they're good husbands. They're good husbands or wives, or maybe they're a good son to a sickly parent. And, that doesn't mean that you're lesser of a person because you're not doing the thing that you were passionate about. You can still be passionate plus do the thing. And I try to keep that stuff up. I have a regular day job, so it's kind of those things. And I'd say that's probably just been something I've had to get through. Or I'd say the past, now it's going on. Yeah, it's now exactly 10 years since I graduated college. And, I can't say that I'm using my degree for just a regular pay thing. I got a game tester job a year after the project finished and I got laid off. So, after that, I didn't really try for another tester job because testing job is schooling. I appreciate my game tester job, but I don't want more of it. But it's kind of just one of those things where I'll admit I kind of just gave up looking for actual work in the industry. And obviously I haven't completely given up. I still draw. I still keep up the drawing habit. But it's kind of just one of those things where I'm not less of an artist because I'm not like being that notable game artist of a notable studio, or you're not in a giant gallery like constantly famous, or you don't get 1 million followers online, stuff like that. I still draw kind of funny. The people who follow me think I'm kind of funny. Or at least I draw good. I draw okay. I could make a bigger effort. I mean, I do a little bit. Like, I've recently been experimenting with making zine. So, this is kind of like the latest thing I've been working on. And I'll be working on basically a big sketchbook of sorts where I'll be getting most of my ink drawings there and making a personal print sketchbook of just artwork, miscellaneous artwork that I have in my files, and I just putting them together in a notable mini booklet. I just bolster that, and I printed on my home printer. It's like I think it's a Canon MX 457 or something like that. I forget what it's called, but it's an old ass printer. Like I'm actually having trouble finding inks for that because it's still an inkjet printer. So these days you got more laser printers. So I probably will have to get a laser printer because the current printer I have is now just getting obsolete. Been experimenting with different printing to kind of just figure out how the hell you actually set up your pages to print. And I've gotten a lot of errors and doing a whole bunch of different things and experimenting with colored paper. But I'm kind of returning to I'm at least trying to return to that spirit of the I guess getting more in tune with the real life art community. Try to meet up with folks locally, people who are local in Illinois. Try to get closer to zine places like Chicago Comics or Quimby, stuff like that, and kind of just see that stuff and embrace some stuff. I purchased Kaiju from Gabriel Batista. It's pretty good. He's a pretty fun artist where he just makes a whole bunch of stuff. So I kind of just been looking at this to kind of just figure out, okay, how he set up his pages, how he set up his stapling, his prints, and kind of just make things interesting. So yeah, I ask him a bunch of questions, kind of just points me the right direction. So I've been pretty all right with that, and that's kind of just been my side project when I'm working on Black Mask, because I've actually kind of been very on and off when it comes to making a new book. I think the reason I just started the zine is because I hadn't made a comic in years. I just wanted to do some kind of new. So yeah, been doing that and trying to just get that down. And I want to do more zines. I'd love to do more zines. I still have a soft spot for comics in general, and I want to get back to making comics when, getting back to writing is probably my first step. I've been very spread thin when it comes to figure out what the heck I want to focus my storytelling. So, it's mostly a matter of just keeping at that. Yeah. Another thing I've been up to is I've been learning to paint. So I've recently been painting in gouache, and kind of just learning gouache right now. This is my most recent painting that I've done. Basically, a goblin with huge asses. And the only reason I've been painting that is to get myself to learn gouache. I bought a gouache set at Anime Central because back at Anime Central, I just decided to spontaneously be like, okay, I'm gonna learn some painting because I think the week before Anime Central, I visited a gallery. Granted, this was an acrylic painting, but I was at a gallery and I was like, this is pretty cool. This feels doable. Like, I feel like I could take more time just to learn how to. And so, I've been experimenting with gouache a little. I basically bought like a Hall Beam paint set, which I blew like $60 on, or 5, 6, 8 colors, 8 tubes, I believe. So that's a lot of money, and that is too much money for what's basically impulse purchase, and I'm still a sufferer of gear acquisition syndrome. So that's been a bit of a problem. But, it is also one of those things where I do want to just improve in art. Like, as an artist, you kind of just want to see new ways to do your art. And so I've kind of just been doing a whole bunch of different stuff, and that's really old experiments with painting. I decided, hey, let's start painting a cow. That's how I started digitally painting, as I tried painting a cow. And of course, I fell off of that digital painting because digital painting is still a pain in the butt in general. I think a lot of this is me trying to just get more into being patient with my art. That goblin butt piece took the past week, and I was mostly just working on it throughout, a hour a day, maybe 30 minutes of just doing it. So from Monday to, I guess, Friday, because I finished it yesterday, maybe like 4.5 hours. Got that. Which in total doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're juggling a day job plus, doing other creative tasks, you're kind of like, I don't really spend my time with it. So I've kind of just been, I've been stretching myself thinner than I realized. I really need to focus more on stuff. Oh wow, it's already 8:30 and I haven't done any art yet. So now let's actually just get started doing art, shall we? Alright. So I actually need to get ready to actually just get to work here, because I've been so I've been, I want to just do a journal art thing, because a lot of the pixel art in Black Mass is practically done. The only thing I need to do now is just get to writing the story and kind of just establish, the actual game levels of, where stuff's gonna be. So the only real task that I need to be doing right now is getting writing done, honestly. So I'll be doing that, and for these streams, I'll probably just focus on just general drawing. So I still have a bunch of other things, stream topics to do. I still need to do that. I still need to do that tutorial on just learning to animate in pixel art. Like, I did that. It's been in my notes, and I'm kind of like, all right, how do you teach animation? Like, oh, let's spontaneously make a fucking animation class for one streaming session. So that's neither here nor there. I'll figure that out as I go. So, what am I working on right now? Something fast. A promotional drawing of Cole using the club as, you know, I don't have that, and you know, it's a nice like way to kind of just get myself drawing. So kind of just feeling for what I need to be doing right now. And of course I have my refs here. Some like interesting refs were kind of just figuring out what the heck this club's supposed to look like, and the club's actually way larger than Cole, so I'll probably work with this. The club design completely changed up. Like, I have a club design where it's thinner, but then in another illustration it's much thicker. I think it's mostly like I'm constantly trying to figure out how the heck the hands for the bears work, so kind of just figuring that stuff out, and you know, just looking at the other weapon inspirations for this bat, where they have basically a mace, but the spikes are the thorns, so that's how the design is. And I kind of just figure out just little means of doing it. I initially had an idea of Cole doing a baseball swing, but then did a bunch of baseball swings, looked up some baseball swings. It's actually not as much as I'd like, but this is adequate. But then I tried, I went to a motion actor on YouTube. It's in Japanese, but I'll drop the link. Motion actor on YouTube, and I just looked up like stuff like that, and this could probably work. Where since Cole's small, the hand will probably be thicker, so he'd probably have it more in his armpit and stuff like that. I'll mess around with that and try to do my best, kind of just so. So I'm kind of just messing about with what I need to do. So hopefully I can at least complete this before noon, because I actually need to leave here by noon. So it's currently 9 o'clock, so I want to at least get this done. But yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. I am happy to help. But right now, it's mostly just me getting this done. And this should be practically as large as Cole, really. So mess about with that. You like get something that's like in perspective to kind of just establish, yeah, this fucker's as large as Cole himself. You know, like a big badass tube, and he'd like overlap it. Probably more like his and kind of just experimenting to see what works what doesn't work. They would actually expand. Probably be more like this, and then yeah. I'd be like this. And I kind of just experiment to see like what would actually work in terms of the sketch. And then I'll probably like have like a basic mark here. And I'm purposely having this just fit in the 6x4 canvas because this would probably be what I would do if I was making like promo cards for this. Is I'd be working on getting the basic pose down. But I mean, so far so good. It's looking pretty alright. And I'm kind of just seeing what would legit work. Kind of just tightening up, sketching as I go. Probably like figure out where Cole's head would be. Yeah, one thing that I really keep messing up on is drawing lighter. Like I'm not light-handed. Usually I would be able to do this, but I'm so used to drawing like this because it's expressive. I feel more free. I feel like I'm able to draw like this. So let's see. Over here. Just be like holding a big tube. Yeah, I have the right pose. It's just okay. Then you'd have like the actual proper details. The tube here. Have you split, have Cole's hair split a little. Have a little bit of a roughness here. Yeah, figure out a way to kind of just get the energy of Cole swinging and hoisting this big sucker all over the place. You probably add a bit more for there. Hopefully I'll at least be able to get this done in a timely manner. The one thing that's nice is I at least have a sense of where Cole's model is, so I don't have to like relearn how to draw Cole all the frickin' time. Let's see, try like it'll go here. Goat would be flying this. So probably for parallel. And that'll be a nice way to kind of just get the silhouette going. A nice solid silhouette. This is looking pretty decent, I'd say. So, sketch. I like part one. Do that. Control S to save. I may just save. Or better yet, just save another iteration. Always save in multiple numbers, folks, if you can. So just in case, you know, you're like, oh, I feel like this is a misstep. You'll at least be a little bit more informed. Alright, so what I'm going to be doing is tightening things up to kind of just get things in a more, I guess, cohesive setup. I went up. Okay. There. Try like figure out a cool way to kind of just get the log right. And as much as I'm like, okay, I need to like have things correct, I kind of don't have to. I could just work with what I've got when it comes to just a broken log. And just stick with the model sheet. And go with the fact that it's a broken, splintered log piece. And of course, here I am like freaking elaborating on this when I don't have to. This is supposed to be a layout sketch, really, but of course I'm doing more than I need. But sometimes that's how I do things. I work out what is there. I do some log cutting. These are nice key spots too. I just mark down where logs will be. Okay. Luckily, I am able to just do this no problem. Little worry. Okay, like his old arm should wrap around this. I probably just do that. Have the entire arm wrapped. Bandana going. He's still on it. Honestly, this log could be further out, but you know what? Let me refine his sketch more. Before I do anything rash. Keep forgetting that things for animals point out. I also have an annoying habit of heading my lines. I'll go through the same fucking stroke again and again. I don't need to, but I do that so often that stuff here. Go further. That'll work. I tightened his face up. Boy, I'm able to just fly through this. I'm not like constantly. I'm not constantly thinking about what I need to do next. You know, obviously I've drawn Cole so often it doesn't matter. But when it comes to doing other characters, I just feel like, ugh. What's their anatomy? What's their thing? And I'm kind of like, ugh. Like, I watch other artists like do their stream and they're just able to just crank out designs and commissions and quests in like seconds. And fuck. Of course, this ain't supposed to be a competition, but it's like, bro, you were not calling this a competition because you're not really losing. I mean, it's toxic to say that, but it's like, maybe I'm just fucking insecure, which I am. I'm fucking insecure, and I keep thinking that I don't really need shit, all this stuff. Like, if they're there, then what the fuck am I here for? Like, I'm mostly just here for nothing. So I'm kind of just in existential mode. Like, it's just a lot of stuff. Right.
What you need.
Yeah, let's go for a bit. I still get hella annoyed when I'm trying to do an action, but I don't have the RAM and computer power that my strokes end up not registering on time. And that shit contributes my just general dislike of working digital. Because when all my strokes, like all my moments where I just need to go fast, like I'm trying to do like multiple actions at the same time, and it's not working, I feel like, oh, I feel completely insulted sometimes. Alright, let's add nice broad strokes. Try to like use my wrist, and this is this is not easy to say. Oh, someone's calling me. Just now. Some motion lines that fade out. Yeah, save here while I land on my spam. I'd say I have a majority of stuff I need other than, I guess, the thorns. Alright, so far so good. One personal critique that I'm saying is the roundness of the roundness of this is kind of an issue sometimes. Like if this is supposed to be round, but then holes going over it, would be a little odd, so probably readjust Cole's just a little bit further away. I know this is probably like completely negligible, but I'm gonna notice this. It's gonna drive me batty. So that's neither here nor there. Okay. I mean, I've gotten a majority of what I need to do for this. Obviously, this ain't a perfect fucking circle. But then again, what should be. My knowledge. No, that's in the way. You never want to like make things just so in the way that kind of just makes it a problem. Yeah, well, let's save you and just get to inking. I think I could probably just work off inking. I probably could work with just a sketch. But, you know, it is what it is with that. So, do that. Use my rusty nib. I like push you away, man. Like, slightly redder. Alright, 9 o'clock. 30 minutes. So far, so good. Let's start with a log. I should start with a log just as the hardest part. just start with the basic things, and I'm gonna try not to get unreal perfect about how the log looks, or if I'm doing it absolutely perfectly. I always kind of like feel like my inking is unreasonably clean, so I've tried my best to hunt down some interesting textured brushes that actually feel like it's not a complete it's not completely miserable to ink in. And it probably could like work off of just working on knocking out these basic tree trunk patterns. Using thinner lines to organize my life. Okay, so far so good. Try like have a thicker bottom line to kind of just knock in that shadow just a wee, just enough so it kind of just feels. I should probably just call this the ink phase. Of course, I always have caps on because caps is near shift, and I keep accidentally pressing caps. I could argue for just increasing the size of my canvas because I don't like how blurry and pixelated it gets, but this is supposed to be the actual broad strokes. And of course, this is supposed to be the grit brush, right? This is supposed to be textures having. So, I try not to get so upset that it's not a wicked precise not wickedly absolutely 100% precise. And that's something that I had to get over the course of learning digital drawing, is the fact that I can't just draw my exact fucking I can't just draw the exact line because this is an animation and I'm from an animation background. I was like, this needs to have the most precise line because then colorist Ryan will be like, why the fuck did you color this? I can't just drop paint it. You know? So that's a whole different ball game for me at the moment. Actually doing proper illustration art. And it's not at all. I'm just gonna take you righty. Okay, so far so good with that. It's kind of like one of those things where, there are a lot of people like, yeah, I could totally skip the inking phase of art. It's kind of like, yeah, I like the inking phase of art. I like interpreting my brushes in a lot of these like different ways. I just fucking hate the coloring phase where it's like, oh, I feel like either I'm picking the wrong colors or it's miserable rendering. I don't really like rendering outside of maybe like simple ass cell shading for the most fucking basic bitch light blocking. Maybe that's all I need. There's nothing telling me that I absolutely 100% have to like render shit absolutely real. In fact, now that like AI is out there, I'm probably like, me, I shouldn't. Probably doesn't matter. I don't know. I probably need to do something kind of like switch my alpha colors away from A because I keep pressing cap. Alright. So far, so good. I'm making surprisingly fast time. And I think that's for a reason. I did decide to just do a drawing instead of doing some pixel art because this will be, or at least the theory is this will be slightly faster. Hopefully it'll be slightly faster, but of course there's a whole bunch of different tasks. It's funny because this is the roughest I've ever gotten myself, but still just looks it still doesn't look as clean as my traditional art. But maybe it's just me. I also have a weird thing where it's like, yeah, I'll draw Cole without pupils. Because that weird thing was like, oh, do I draw Cole with pupils or without pupils? That's kind of like, sometimes I draw with pupils, sometimes I draw without pupils. He overall looks cooler without pupils. Like, doing that Orphan Annie Pico look. But of course, I do have like, his initial drawing is with pupils. Or at least his, I guess, the drawing that I keep promoting Black Mass in general is with the pupil. It's kind of like I overall just like the pupilless look in general because one, easier to draw, and two, it's I personally like the superhero comic look of Cole, but of course I'm fucking biased because I like comics. I like superhero comics. I like indie. Well, actually, no. I like indie comics way more than superhero comics. Like, sometimes it's very hit or miss with superhero comics. And it's kind of, yeah, I'll just do it in again. occasionally I'll find a superhero comic that's a notable sign and stuff. That's usually kind of just how I tackle superhero comics these days. Is I don't really buy individual issues as a way for a trade of a collection of a story arc. That's usually just how I tackle it. I deal with following individual issues, which is archaic. Like, why the fuck would I wait for floppies that are going to sit in my freaking desk? And here I am, like, being hypocritical because I do sell floppies. So it's probably not hypocritical because I do desperately want to get rid of that. Well, actually, no. It is hypocritical because I still want to sell zines, and those are floppies. But the hope is that I'll be able to build that up into a larger book, which I will get a proper ISBN number. That will be notable book selling. So far, so good. I could just use a hand, but I'm like, you know what? Cole has his. I want people to be like fucking nervous around Cole, or at least the characters be like, who is this creep who's like just walking around? He just appeared out of nowhere. I don't trust him at all. Like, I don't want him to be like a complete charisma lord. Like, I want him. I get. Maybe. You know how, like, Geralt is basically a detective, but in fantasy world? I want Cole to be like that, but be like the Columbo equivalent of that, where everyone completely underestimates him. And then they end up like getting screwed over. Well, actually, no, because it's weird. Because half the other characterization I want of Cole is Cole overestimates himself. Like, he is the type of guy be like, yeah, I think I know what I need, and finding out the plan is going absolutely south, and Cole is now over his head. Like, that's also another thing I kind of enjoy when it comes to, playing games, is that surprise of realizing, oh, I actually am over my head. That's why I kind of like Bloodborne. I was playing a little bit of Bloodborne at Anime Central, and it kind of just gave me that funny feeling where you're playing a game, you think you're knowing something, then they throw a notable twist that freaking just gets you. I'm like, fuck, you tricked me. And it didn't even feel unfair. It just felt like a joke that was played on me for messing with my overconfidence. I think that's why I'm assuming that's why people like Souls games, because a lot of the difficulty comes from, I guess, many people getting overconfident and greedy. I still need to figure out a way to get a game to run on my PC. Dark Souls can sort of run on my computer. Like, it's slow, like the frames have plummeted, but it can work. It's just there's a whole bunch of stuff that I gotta do. So far, so good with this. I think I might be able to just get this nearly done. Or at least it's at a point where I can probably just let this go as a cooling drawing. I also been getting to notice that I'm getting unreasonably better at drawing feet. And I think it's because I'm constantly hanging out with furries or just unreasonably into them. Like, I want to be. And then I'm slowly just absorbing their foot knowledge via hypnosis. And I'm just now starting to realize it. And I kind of hate it on the inside, but it is important. Yeah, it's kind of just one of those things where it's like I have gotten better at drawing feet simply by hanging out with fucking furries who are like, fucking, fuck you. This is annoying. Okay. I want to like fucking 90s max and just make my feet look like trash, man. But I can't 90s max. I don't know. I'm getting a lot of like stupid Northern Lion stuff from me, like fucking 90s maxing and shit. Like, what the fuck is that, actually? '90s maxing. But honestly, it makes sense for what I want to do. Like, I have been like more interested in kind of just getting myself to just not stress about stupid bullshit. Because I'm always stressed about stupid bullshit, no matter what. And everybody else just seems to just not be stressed about stupid bullshit. I'm kind of like, how are you not stressed over stupid bullshit? Stupid bullshit happens all the time, and I'm mad about it. Don't you give a shit? And most times they kind of just don't because they have no control over it, or just maliciously don't give a shit. And that's life. And life sucks, and I would rather not live it, you know? I would rather jump off a cliff than continue dealing with life sometimes. And is it a normal feeling? Of course not. Most people are like give you fucking stupid positively platitudes where it's like, oh, your life fucking means something. That's kind of like, does it really mean it? Of the 6 million people out there and the thousands doing way more important shit than me, you got people curing cancers and viruses, you got people like fighting wars and shit, and you think me, Johnny, fuck off, actually means anything in the grand scheme of things? Fuck out of here. That shit. Oh, just because I draw like fucking ant sword something, that's gonna make a difference. Just because I fucking donate to charity, that's gonna make a difference. Oh yes, donate to charity on a freaking thing where, you know, the charity money still gets stolen anyways. Who fucking cares? Oh, is it gonna be like one of those things where Ryan just gets existential again? Yeah, it is. Bite me. Like, actually bite me. Like, I feel like being sad tonight because... Not tonight. I feel like being sad today because I don't really get to be sad in general. Like, I mostly just spend my time kind of bottling my shit up and faking myself to be, you know, keep working or lock in or not bring down the vibes and shit. But I'm here drawing. And usually when I'm drawing, I'm just in my head getting stuff done. And I think much, much worse stuff when I'm not streaming and not like sometimes I'll just stop streaming and kind of just look up just psychological profiles and stuff like that. And there's little I really want to do sometimes, but just sit down and just mope. No. I mope for a while and then I'll get back to work because obviously moping ever ain't gonna help me. I just want that time to just fucking mope. Want to mope and I want to just fucking, burn out. I just want to feel sad sometimes. I hate feeling sad, but I need to feel sad because I don't believe the world's 100% a fucking happy place. Like, why should it be? There's no obligation to me specifically or you that the world should be a happy place. If it was supposed to be a happy place, it would have been made in the first place. Instead of this fucking horseshit where it's like, oh, but if you can't, know sadness, how can you know happiness? I don't want to know happiness. I want to be happy. And that's all I want to be. You can... What's really the actual reason why you shouldn't just be 100% one emotion? 100% just that. Like, not being able to perceive other emotions. That's one thing I kind of just... Now I'm kind of just getting, existential again. But it's like... Cool, evil exists. Why? For building character? Well, fuck building character. It shouldn't exist. If it's supposed to be bad, then get rid of it. I'm the psycho perfectionist who's like, everything, if it's supposed to be better, then make it better. I don't want any horseshit where it's like, oh, it's supposed to be good for you. If it's supposed to be good for you, it would have been good in the first place. That's my own personal psycho thoughts where it's it should have been good from the start. And maybe this is kind of just me just being an insane perfectionist. Maybe there's more things to it, but it's at this point, I kind of just don't even care if there's more. Things are bad, so why aren't that's just the caveman. That's the lizard brain speaking with that. Things are bad, so why go good? That's kind of just the end all be all of that. I'm kind of indifferent of whether or not there's more to that thought, because I feel bad now. The why I feel bad is kind of negligible because I'm bad right now. I'm having a bad day right now, and I kind of just don't care if there is a reason for that bad day because I'm feeling bad vibes right now. Fuck you. I'm sad. It's yeah. But that's me kind of just, this is the, I feel this is the existential me speaking, where I usually will just have these thoughts silently. And, thinking about it now, I now regret speaking these out loud on stream because, I'm probably going to be seen as crazy. Is it even raw? It's not raw, really. It's just me having psychotic rambling. I'm absolutely insane, honestly. It ain't like a neurodivergent whatever. It's just insanity. I'm crazy. And I don't like that I'm crazy. I don't like having feelings, you know? I should probably just save this. I could probably stand to maybe like make the tips thicker. I just established that. Looking at my navigator right now, noticing the tips kind of fall off, so I'm gonna see if I can't add a bit more. There we are. And kind of just do some basic like spot. All right, so far so good. You, oh yeah, got about then I like X. Oh snap! Have I been inking with a paintbrush this entire time and not the rest of it? That's interesting. Oh yeah, it's a completely different, but it is nice. Do like a different whisker. That's one thing that I keep forgetting in like my regular drawing. I keep forgetting to give Cole whiskers. I think most furries forget to give their characters whiskers. In fact, let me look in FA right now. Like, all right, front page of FA, and this is gonna be sucky. I'm not gonna do it on stream. Do they remember to put whiskers? Let's see. Let's pick an actual safe for work. This one's finished. Oh, this one's a portrait I can work with. So yeah, no whiskers. No whiskers. I don't think furries remember to like draw whiskers on their animal characters. I mean, it's negligible, but it's kind of just one of those like little drawing foibles that nobody ever thinks about. Least of all me. Like I never remember like draw whiskers on my animal characters once. So like I'm either working digitally or I actually consciously remember to like add that detail. I don't think anyone ever remembers to put whiskers on their characters. And I mean it's such a tiny detail that no one's actually gonna remember. Plus no one's actually going to that's a whole bunch of there's other stuff with that. So this adoptable. They were to put whiskers on here. That's pretty fascinating. I mean, I think like if your animal character tilts more realistic, you'll probably remember to put them there. Let's see. Does Chris remember to put whiskers on his furries? Nope, not really. Of course, no one really remembers. Like, this doesn't really have whiskers on his furries, but he has a beard. Like, you could argue that you can make some compelling argument that technically this is whiskers, but it's like, yeah, it's not really it's not really like one of those things that anyone actually remembers is putting whiskers on their animal character. So that's kind of just a dumb, it's probably not even a common observation. Like, I'm sure everybody's probably like noticed that. I'm not really. I'm still pretty like fucking. I'm pretty surface level when it comes to just, I guess, furry stuff in general. In fact, I'm recently listening to this podcast. I guess it would be a true crime documentary where it talks about the, I think it's the 2014 Midwest Fur Fest gas attack. And kind of just going through that and like figuring out why the heck who could have possibly done it. And, the little clues and stuff like that. It's pretty fascinating. It's a lot of stuff that I hadn't even known about. Like, I probably knew about it by osmosis, but I never like really like the actual details of it is foreign to me in general, which makes sense. Like, I am sort of surface level when it comes to most furry anything. Like, I still kind of like harbor some slight embarrassment when it comes to a lot of my designs. Like, there's this one time where I showed off one of my sketchbooks to a coworker, and like he immediately ended up opening, and it wasn't like on purpose. He immediately opened to a sketch where it's this bear character, and yeah, it was mostly like me kind of like drawing like a nude bear, and it wasn't like full frontals like in the back, like with huge ass and whatever. And that was now I didn't like go nuts, and he wasn't like weird about it or nothing like that, but on the inside I was internally screaming. I was just like, yeah. And of course, there's no reason to be embarrassed about it. Like, whatever's sexy is sexy, but it's kind of like, I still harbor that embarrassment for some fucking reason. And, it's another bout of I give a shit about what other people think because I have to be around other people. Like, I can't just not give a fuck about nothing. Like, I live in a society. Like, if I just go around not giving a fuck about anything, like, that'd be like full blown, like, might as well just live in the woods for all I care, because I live in a society, which means I should at least give a fuck about how I perceive myself in society. Otherwise, I'll be a dick. And I'd like to not be a dick if I can help it, because I always feel like I'm an asshole in general. Like, you do stuff, then you regret it. You spend a lot of time, like, being a jerk ass, and you end up, like, realizing, oh, what you've been doing was jerk ass behavior, and your life is worse because you made someone else's life worse. You have effectively like caused more harm in the world, and now things suck more because you're causing more harm in the world. And I guess that's just me being fucking insane in general. So that's probably just me like feeling feelings. So that's kind of just one of those just suck things that I probably just need to get over. I like blur effect. I'll just use just for personal reasons. Alright, so far so good. But this is looking pretty decent, I'd say. Like a sludge. Control S. That down nose line's pretty fast. It's 940. They like do a fast bit of spot blacks. Spot black. Okay, there's a little bit of spot black to kind of just kind of like figuring out like what kind of ways to kind of just make this shading interesting looking. I also still need to add the thorns because I actually need to do that. Just doing a bunch of stuff to kind of just get this looking remotely interesting. This is me kind of just experiment with cross hatching just to see what I can do to kind of just add some more texture. And yeah, this is kind of just the part that I kind of like about inking sometimes is you're kind of just using just black to learn how to render an ink. And this is just me enjoying the comic book part of my comic book art style. And this obviously ain't the end-all be-all of inking and stuff like that. Hey, thanks for the follow, Tyler340. Yeah, I'm, just working on a whole bunch of fantastic art here and kind of just, having some fun inking. So kind of just working on getting in some spot blacks here or diving into the color part of it. And kind of just having some fun, kind of just enjoying the process of just making this spot blacks just look, I guess, into the comic book styles that I like. It's real like Ninja Turtles-y in that way. And I think this is... which brush is it? Yep, it's a paintbrush again. I don't hate it, but it's one of those things where I guess I'm starting to just slowly get used to how cool like trying to use more textured brushes are compared to just the default round brush, than just being mad that it looks so clean. I'm kind of like, maybe you should spend a little bit more time working with textured brushes instead of just being miserable when it comes to digital art. That's what I've been just up to with that, is kind of just getting myself more into, enjoying using my tablet more instead of just hiding. Instead of just hiding on the tablet so much. Okay, you're far away. DOS. Just fast ass feathering. Don't like go nuts with it. Just super broad strokes. Try not to like crazy precise. And this is a little light at the top, so I'll probably like. Actually, no. This is where thorns are supposed to be, so probably tighten this up right here and then go to my thorn brush. So yeah, Control S, save. Take a sip of coffee. Take a stretch. Make another save because I keep forgetting my saves. Alright. Now for something fantastic. That's my thorn brush. Alright. So I'm going to go back to actual regular layout mode to get out my special effects brush. My special effects is brush. Track down where I put my special brushes. Here you are, the thorn brush. Now this is a nice thing, a pre-made brush I made before. The illustration is pre-made brush here. This is a thorn brush. It's pretty nice. Able to catch all the thorns. You'll probably do this. And I'll adjust it as I go. Do that. Do some adjusting here. Separate that into more layers. I could probably put you over. Throw you out for silhouette reasons. Nice and straightforward. And then I can simply do things like readjust the drawing here, tighten up the more bad spots when it comes to things being disjointed. And that managed to like save me a whole bunch of time when, you know, I'm drawing this complicated brush. And this is my own artwork. Like, I made this thorn brush myself. So far so good with that. I mostly just use thorn brush for it. It's my own personal pass for that. But yeah, that's a little thing, a little, I guess, trick that you can use to kind of just get yourself drawing and inking faster. If you can make a brush for a texture that you're frequently drawing again and again, you should totally do that. Because that way, you won't be blowing so much time on a thing. And, you know, there are tutorials on making brushes in Clip Studio Paint. I'm quite indifferent to, you know, yeah, I might as well merge it. These tight details, no one's actually going to stare too hard at. And I'll probably just do some things like do some more, you know, add a bit of shading to this, kind of just establish things are not as confusing. I thicken the bottom spots here. Okay. All right. Part 2 with this. And probably could do something with your work if you thorn brush some more, but it is what it is. The thorn brush isn't 100% perfect. Like, you know, there's still gaps. It's not like 100% like unending of patterns. But I do my best to kind of just make a varied thorn setup. I probably should make an updated thorn brush or an updated rope brush, but has more variance to it. Because I think I also have a rope brush in general, but I obviously, let's see, is it here? Oh, it's on transparent. Oh, I also have an arrow brush. So I got that. And then I'll just rotate the arrows as I see fit. Just if I have a bazillion arrows, I just paint that. And I have a signature brush that I used to have, but it doesn't like have that. I have an old bug swarm brush. A crosshatch brush that sort of works, but sort of doesn't. more of a rake brush, really. Like, it doesn't go to stroke I want, but it can kind of work. I can see the theory of it. It's just, it just needs much more. I think I just need to adjust the settings here. Like, I have the technology that I could make this work. It's just, I'm not significantly good. I have like a little mouse crowd brush, which is pretty nice. Like, having a crowd brush is always good. Like, using stamps is always just a good way to kind of, you know, make drawing a little faster for you. So, you know, if you find yourself like just drawing and redrawing stuff, you should totally figure out what to make a brush for the more tedious aspects of the drawing part. And of course, you know, there are some things where you really can't help, like actual motorcycle design and stuff like that. So that's neither here nor that. Okay. A little bit of bottom there. All right, so far so good with that. Or all right. And with all these like little efforts, it looks near seamless. And of course, it will mask out the more frustrating, well, not frustrating, but the more unimportant aspects of the make sure that it's absolutely the pattern that you want. Scout the parts that also are what you want. Okay. I really need to give a more solid shot to playing Gunstar Heroes, because I like the music, I like how the gameplay looks, but holy fuck, that game's hard. I mean, I'm sure it's learnable, like, you know, Cuphead's learnable. I mean, it's just a matter of like getting through it. If I wanted to, I probably could just paint over the. I could skip this phase and just go straight to the coloring phase if I really wanted to. Gonna have some Jet Set Radio soundtracks in this list. Probably not, because I think a lot of that's copyrighted. Like YouTube would like strike it, which is a pain in the butt to deal with. So I just don't bother. Let's see, 10 a.m. I have till noon, so I gotta pick up the pace a little. Luckily, there's just no. If there are extra details that I want, I'll probably just. I can't think of. Oh no, I want to at least have some of the thorns kind of like floating around, so I'll probably just do that. Got all that, right? Yeah. That out. Okay. How's it looking? It's looking all right. Ah. So far, so good. This could be worked better. Work you. Be much better. Okay. The only other thing left is to just add a bit more spot blacks in certain spots. Okay. Continue the spot blacks just a bit more. Let's see. A little bit more to kind of just get you looking like you actually belong and not like just little bits of just readjustments. And it still looks like fairly detailed to the point where it's like work off. So far, so good. Right, so far so good. S 10:05. All you whiskers. Put you far above. And I'm gonna merge all these together. Now you have solid there once again. Not as complicated since I'm practically done inking. Let's call this ink 3 just in case I bork it. Do one fast stretch. 10:05. Or sip of coffee. All right. Just broadly staring to kind of see if everything's solid. Yeah. Sometimes I'll brew. Sometimes I'll brew some coffee. I just have a bunch of grounds. Yeah. They'll just be at the bottom. Luckily, I have water. Wash it down, wash out the stuff in your teeth, and makes things easier. Alright. So far, so good. I suppose the next step is just get the flat coloring then. But you know what? I'm gonna take a fast break actually, so I'm gonna step away, put away my coffee cup, stretch my legs, and I should be able to get the rest of this done after 2 hours. So step away, I guess maybe play some ads, and you can hang about. I'll be right back. And I'm back. Welcome back to the Mastafran art stream. I'm done. I'm ready. Got another bottle of drink. But actually, this bottle is actually full of liquid death water. I bought a can a while ago, or last night. I poured it in this bottle. So I'm kind of drinking that. So it's fizzy water compared to, I guess, that water. I'm hydrated AF, so that's how that goes. I'd say the next course of action for this would be flat coloring, I'd say. So it's flats. I don't know why it's blah. But yeah, music's off. All right. So Let's get to flat coloring this art here. One thing that's really nice is select, it has those lines selected. I like turn off the whiskers. Probably should have like made the effects separate, merged it. But I can always just separate you out. Let me readjust these selections here. The only thing that I kind of feel like I borked is to... Actually, no, I could remedy this. That's the power of fill layers, baby. Dive in there, knock this at a lower opacity, and it's no problem. Excuse me. Luckily, since I basically just inked this with full capacity, I have to worry about missing any specific things. Ugh. So far, so good with this. I'm also noticing flawed ink lines. I think I'll just let them go for now. But yeah, this is gonna be pretty straightforward. My coloring's gonna be fast. I'm not gonna like do any like coloring answering stuff. I'm just gonna use the auto actions. Fast flatting, but boom. That should be flatted, right? Yep, you're flat. I want this color to build. This Cole is overall a cool gray character. So I think what's really messing me up that this is this is good enough. And then I will be basically here. May delete the sketches because sketches. Put these into black colored pieces. Still more of a comics artist, so I'm kind of like I want this to be in the Marquee blue. That. Apparently, there's an indie game dev actually making a Chow Garden, like an actual just Chow Garden game. That fucking rules. And I'd say that's the power of just indie development. Because, if the mainstream company doesn't want to make it, you just do it yourself. And it's kind of just how that goes. I don't want to get so precise with it. That's kind of just one of those things where, if you don't see the game that you want to make, you can always just make it yourself. Like there's no copyright on the game concepts. You're kind of like seeing variants of it, where it's like, oh hey, there's not much Star Fox games, so you find people making their own Star Foxes. You have people being like, oh, there hasn't been an Armored Core. You got people making their own Armored Core, even if there's currently an Armored Core out there. The fact that it's out and you have someone being like, yeah, I want to make my own Armored Core, they're still out there making it. That's been pretty nice for them. That kind of stuff still rules. Bada boom. Red. Oh, orange. Make darker orange. Did I mess up? Eh. One thing that I also don't remember using is I don't remember like holding my stuff as much. Do that. Catch it. Boom. Get nice, fast flatting. No fucking problem with that. Get that shit out. In instant. Would you look at that? That's almost nothing. Okay. Thorns are probably the hardest stuff to color because you're kind of like coloring thinner spaces. You can't just be like, broad color everything, bitches. Yeah, I gotta dive into details. Like, this could get away with just flat colors if I wanted. Like, if I wasn't an insane perfectionist, I probably would just rock. The fact that I'm able to crank out a flat in like probably 30 minutes is probably a testament to the fact that I'm using a smaller canvas, and using a smaller canvas makes a giant difference because this is a 6x4 card compared to like doing a 9x2 thing, so that's going to make a ginormous difference. But doing that will also just make things much faster because you're able to just crank out stuff just at a stupidly fast pace because you just got that going. Plus, the fact that I'm covering everything out with spot blacks means that I don't have to elaborate on colors as much because colors are already there, dude. Nobody's gonna notice. Yeah. So now it's mostly a matter of like getting down tighter details that may or may not match, depending on I can see it. One lucky thing about, I guess, black line art, or maybe off black line, because this isn't 100% black. Like, I think if I had the, I'll probably recolor it just to kind of just show the difference between an off red line art and a pure black line. It's funny because in the original bear drawing, the thorns are also slightly lightly colored, but I'm like, I cannot ask you. I have like maybe 2 hours to get this done. Get into the weeds of the details of this. Like, there's no time. And you kind of got to make compromises to that when it comes to how much time you really want to spend on a drawing and certain aspects of a drawing. So, you end up learning little contingency plans and shortcuts. That comes with, experiences. You have like a lot of these, fan artists and porn artists who are like, oh, how the hell do you manage to like draw so fast? Oh, one, they're way more experienced, and two, they know their software enough to like do all the little shortcuts. They know like, okay, what to copy paste, what to draw and redraw. Hell, they probably had a pre-drawn pose. As another way to kind of like crank out art fast is to have a few drawings where you just have pre-drawn poses, where you don't have to think about how the pose goes or blow a lot of time sketching it. Like, that's one thing that I kind of did is that's one thing that that probably hindered my time a bit is I spent so much time trying to get the dimensions right when it comes to re-sketching Cole's drawing. That's kind of a little thing that will hinder your drawing a bit if you're not pre-planning stuff. I'd say a lot of, I guess, speed comes from planning. Say, I've been reading a novel called Write Better Faster, or Write Faster Better, or something like that. And the first chapter, it basically boils down to the key to like faster drawing is to plan ahead and make sure erase the friction when it comes to what's making you slow. And usually what makes you slow is you don't know what to do. You don't know what to do. You don't know how you're going to plan or what to write. Like, if you know exactly what to write and how many like things you got to write, like, I mean, if you know that you exactly need to do 5 paragraphs, you just plan your writing towards 5 paragraphs instead of you end up writing excessively and then you have to agonize over editing out stuff you overwrote, things like that. And obviously, there's the opposite where you can write just enough and you know exactly what you need to eliminate to get the most effective writing done. So that's a bunch of million things, but the core idea is to just get organized. And that is something that, of course, I'm not organized. So that is why I'm a bottom tier artist in general, because my art is flat out. Like, it's already just full out. I don't organize my files as much. I don't organize brushes as much. My shortcut keys are kind of just all over the place. I mean, it's organized to a point where I can draw like this. I don't have to be in the full out. I don't need the menus these days. I can just go in, draw in there, and I can just rock that. I'm getting better at that, and that obviously comes with experience. And my phone's going off for some stupid eBay thing, so I'm gonna ignore that. gonna try and ignore that because stuff. I've been meaning to do more stuff on eBay because I have a bunch of art comic covers I want to sell, and eBay is more of the place to do that. So. And 30. I have like it's maybe seconds to work. Control S. Alright, so far so good with that. I like to do flats part 2. So I elaborate on Bull's body because I basically got the log done. Log's practically done. It's just Cole himself is the most complicated character. Luckily, I at least have his model sheet, so I'm not completely SOL on a lot of his stuff. So a lot of his other stuff with his model sheet I can read. So, boom. Like, there's a lot of things with his model sheet where I'd probably work backward. Okay. Knock out his head right here. Alright, so far so good. I'm kind of just locking it. I'm nearly done, I'd say. I'll rectify that mistake. I think I can color you here, right? No. Yep. Yeah, there are like little moments where it's like, I could probably just fill you. And yep, I can just fill you. Yes. Get that in there. Okay. His little hand. I think that's pretty good. Is I'm good at just making sure that his coloring's pretty straightforward when it comes to the specifics of how Cole's real, I guess, looks. And it's difficult to explain. Mm. The rest of it is just tightening things up. Coherent. Just filling that shit up. Okay, that part's so good. I like tighten you up. His tail's actually a light color. And then the blue. Yeah, his sleeves used to be yellow, but I'm like, you know what? Let's make him slightly less of a black mage ripoff, you know? And by that I mean like made less a Sly Cooper ripoff. Like, yeah, he had like yellow sleeves, like the black mage sprite, Final Fantasy 1, all that stuff. I was kind of like, okay, let's tilt more towards what's his name? Like Cooper. And I'm kind of like, wow, I don't like that. Just that obvious of a Sly Cooper ripoff. I have considered like other different colors. I've tried one where Cole is green colored, and I kind of like that color. It's similar to a sprite. I probably would like give him the sprite color way. Yeah, I think it was a similar color to this. I also realized that I forgot to give him his pants patch. I'm kind of like, I would like to just not hold his currently. Let's see. It would take me like 5 minutes to just add the line art patch. Like, it would mean nothing. Ugh. And this is such negligible. Like, I'm doing this instead of something more substantive. And then we'll just paint his teeth and off yellow. Because, fuck. Well, not just why the fuck not, but that's usually kind of just how I will color living creatures. Is I don't usually use a pure white because I want those for highlights and, you know, the highest highlights. And if I use pure white, I won't be able to have that last bit of highlight just get the shine pop. So that's mainly why most people say like, oh hey, don't use white. Well, what they mean is don't like just erase every potential. Don't erase every potential. Every like potential like dark aspect. So far, so good with that. I always feel like I always feel like. Well, first let's save this and make a new file. I always feel like this blue is too saturated. Knock it down just a bit. Just like that. And fuck it, let's add a BG. Reverse the BG. Change the size, add like change canvas size. Give me extra. And I can always like reduce this down. A little bit of thing to kind of establish some bit of just a wee bit of radiance to this. We'll do it just. Okay, with that, I'll probably just readjust the paper width. So it's wee bit more. Maybe like a cache, though. Probably don't even have to do this, but I kind of want to do this. Take a look. Multiply. Even if it sucks, it'll look half decent just right off here. I like to do a sig. I like signature. Yeah, I'll probably like put it. This right under Cole's pick. So no one can get rid of it. Now that's kind of like one thing that most people are like, don't sign your stuff in data. Like, no, sign and date it. Fuck you. Fuck you. Like, put it all there. Everyone needs to know. I'll have collectively coal. And then I can just move it around. If I want to, I can just do out. There we are. So now all that's left is to basically just get the probably just lighting, rendering. Lights. Lights are always like a nice way to kind of just get things going here. Honestly, you know, this will be a nice way to kind of just get things going because it's currently 11, so I need to get stuff done. So, S. Oh, I just realized that I hadn't flatted this top piece. To rectify that. I'm sure nobody's actually gonna notice these tiny ass details. I'm gonna notice, and I'm gonna be sad. Yeah. Right. Slider. And sometimes this is you kind of just futzing about with. Here. I don't even have to do. Yellow, because that's where all the fancy what's it called ness is. Get that down ASAP. Don't fret too much about getting the deep details down. This is both a tip for me and yourself, just to get those broad lighting strokes there. Because cell shading is in Destiny. It's one of those things where you kind of like feel like, yeah, am I really just, I feel like I'm being lazy. Kind of have to be. Like, you're kind of in this point where you kind of like feel like you're currently burning out. When you're at this point and you don't take a break, you're kind of burnt out. You don't want to work on it at all. That's a point where most people will be like, digital painting fucking sucks because it's just so tough. That's usually how I've been. I don't take enough breaks to, justify myself making sure not to burn out. So that kind of thing can really screw with you if you don't take the time to kind of just, take your time, take actual breaks instead of feeling like you need to do every tiny thing at once within 2 hours. That shit will harm you in the long run if you're constantly just in fire at all cylinders. That can really mess with you sometimes. Honestly, I could probably rock with just the light up here. This is actually pretty good. Alright, so first. So far, so good with you. I'm not even doing much in terms of worrying about actual working about being 100% accurate to the lighting, because right now I'm mostly just establishing where the hell the planes are. That's kind of the core of cell shading, is just if you establish where the planes of light are, really don't need to do much. Like that's why watercolor works much better. I just focusing on that instead of trying to just be 100% super accurate guy. Obviously, there's more to it. Like dive into proper stuff with that. All right. There we are. Okay, so you. Here. Try not to rush. I probably will get top high. Okay. Basically, coal's rendered. Just so I'm not messing that up. Do yellow. Yeah, we're just gonna take advantage of the fact that we got plain yellow. May like do some small little detail and just keep you just absolutely come on. What the There we go. Just do some tiny things. I gotta just break up the plane some more. And one more just lighter. This is mostly just at the smaller areas. To have the most direct light. Yeah. So far, so good. I could probably get rid of this spot, kind of just establish Cole's casting a shadow, yada yada. And then maybe like some little bits of blending the black with the cast shadow, kind of just establish, oh, it's still pretty round. Work off that. Make things lighter. That's good. They like use these like surround. Just tilt the, shine to his head. That's kind of the focus of him. And of course, I'm constantly hunching all the freaking time. Gotta stand up a bit. All right. I also realized that I still haven't flatted these thorns again. Let's see if we can tighten these thorns just a wee more. Because I'm nearly done. I've actually made fantastic time. I feel like, yeah, like once I lock in, I can just crank this out in like 30 minutes. Or if I like locked in on most of my stuff, I could just crank it out, no problem. It's just fucking cowardly bitch boy. If I was less of a cowardly bitch boy, I could make more things happen instead of powering over, not want to face my destiny. Ooh-ah. Okay. So in order to okay. If I could use the wide pencil, I'm using the wide pencil. Then use the regular pencil to kind of just knock off colors as I see fit. At this point, I'm kind of like, yeah, fuck. I'm in massive burnout. Now, kind of just at the point where I'm now kind of just super over this. I just want this shit done, bro. All right. Because I am wicked lazy. Actually gonna make this dark. Because I am wicked lazy and I just don't want to work on this anymore. But this, crank it down, tilt it more towards this. Give it a wide look as well. Well, like put you on multiply. Get the basics down. I fret so much about getting every freaking right. Just get them all. I'm absolutely in burnout. And then add the white. I just have a rail thin and which one? Absolute rail thin micron. And you're just gonna be the one just white. You won't make a difference really. But you shine where that's plenty. Then have the whiskers. You like put you a little bit. Make it so thick. I notice. Oh yeah, I forgot to at least mark this down. I realize the music's kind of just been completely silent, but I'll live with it. I'm nearly done anyway, so I'll just let this go. Okay. So far, so good. I'm nearly just so much stuff is kind of just to finish, so I'm just gonna do that. Bada bing, bada boom. Nearly done with you. I just have so much to get done. Oh, and of course, the rusty nib still has the fucking fluff, so it's not completely aliased, which makes flatting a pain in the ass. Because flatting with an alias brush just means that you can't really just do some fast can't do fast fast flatting So you need like a specific color brush to make sure that you can just jump into flatting no problem. Well, that's how things go. Okay. Hmm. All right. Not bad. Probably could hue you bluish. That'll work. You know what? Just because I want to have a bit more of a finished look. By finished look, I mean have some texture to it. We're going to import a texture here, add from image, that had that handy dandy tone I love so much. Give it a bit of a whirl, kind of just say, this is it. Multiply. Knock it down just enough so it's not a complete overwhelming mess. Like shrink it because it's supposed to be texture. And bada bing, bada boom. You are practically finished. I probably could like crap out the dead space so it's like canvas size. Bring that back to 6x4. Or maybe not. Maybe like yeah. And then you crop to 6x4. Maybe like 6.5 by maybe. Yeah. By enough. And it looks half decent. And you can basically just save this as the final. Now stick a fork in you. You are done. I'm just gonna let this go. I'd say I'm pretty done with this right now. Knocked it out in 3-ish hours. After probably 2 hours. So this sort of works. I'm okay about it. I'll probably like take my eyes away from it before posting and kind of just see if there's anything that I'm missing. I probably am. But anywho, I will see you all next stream. Try to render and ASAP. And yeah, I will see you all next stream. You know what? Let's see if I can't raid someone. Let's see. Who's streaming? Oh, they're streaming. You know what? I'll raid Bear with maybe here. Let's do that. And as I do that, we'll just wrap up. Yeah, but there's really like one for here. Yeah, well, I won't bother with them. Anywho, thanks for stopping by. Whoever actually, stopped by, and yeah, I will see you all next stream. Have a good night. Maybe a good day. In this case. See you later.